This is Absolutely Essendon. It's our Hot or Not series where we drill down and apply the spotlight to every player in the lineup and have a look at how they're tracking so far for the 2024 season. First, cab off the rank is one Jake Stringer.
Well, I don't know why we landed on a Jakey for our first Hot or Not video.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't alphabetical.
It's definitely not by numbers, but I think it's incredibly timely.
Right.
Because, these are just going to be quick little sort of wrap-ups of these particular players. And most importantly, this is about you. We want your views on whether this player is hot or not.
Yes.
And so the comment section should be open as you're watching.
Yes.
Please feel free to dive in. And we're going to
Yes.
ask you to rate the player's performance thus far in season 2024.
Yes.
Out of 10, 10 being the best, of course, and would be fascinated to read your comments.
Yeah.
But today we're going to look at Jake Stringer.
We are, and just on that note, why it's double fascinating is because I think we tweeted during this week about ranking our midfield players.
Yeah, we
and
did.
what I found so interesting was the different takes that people have in terms of those rankings. We're all following, all love the same team, all looking at the same games, but people, let's say, have Sartis up higher than maybe we would, or Hobbs lower than what we would. It's quite interesting. So that's why we want to open this up. This is our take. Would love your thoughts on it as well.
I think Dylan Shields' mum was double-clicking on that particular post. I noticed he shot up.
Oh, did he?
On one particular
right
ranking. But anyway,
okay.
Jakey Stringer, number 25, came to the Bombers from the Western Bulldogs famously.
He did.
And, has been with the club for a little while now.
Was part of their premiership team.
Did play, in the 2016 premiership side. The package, great footballer on his day. He's had a little bit of an up and down history with the Bombers, but most notably seems to hit his best when his contract is coming up for renewal, which of course is the fact in this particular season. So let's just have a look at some of his stats for the year to date. So I know we're grabbing Jakey after round 8. Some other of the players we'll look at might be later in the season, so they may have a little longer to build up their portfolio.
Yes.
But in terms of Jakey's disposals, he's averaging 12 a game, which is not bad for a half-forward type player. That's above average compared to the rest of the league.
Yep.
And of that, 9.4 of those 12 are kicks, which again is above average. He's averaging 2 goals a game, and some of those goals are clutch and have been very important for us. But his goal accuracy has been a little off this year. He's actually under 50% for goal accuracy.
Yeah.
Marking, I'll just quickly wrap these through. So marks 4.3 per game, which is about average based on league standard for that type of position, and above average 2.1 tackles per game. So there's no question that Jake is providing a lot more defensively in our F50, and I think it's been clear throughout the season that he has been a pretty valuable player, both in an offensive and defensive sense. So there you go. That's the quick wrap-up of his season so far. Thoughts?
There it is, yes. So first of all, in general, He's performing much better this year. He's had a quiet couple of years. Again, we often joke whether it is contract related, and it seems to be quite the coincidence. But maybe that's all it is. On the goal kicking front, missed a fairly crucial one last week on Anzac Day. Wasn't too far out. Again last night in West Coast, he sort of, if he's 48 metres out on an angle, seems to have more confidence than being 20 metres out, which is interesting. I'm not calling the yips right now, but it is an interesting factor in his game at the moment. But where he is incredibly valuable, even Anzac Day, when Brad Scott throws him into the middle, bigger body, seems to make an impact. So he still holds
that's
incredibly
a very
valuable.
good point. I think we tend to forget that he can be put on the ball and go to the centre bounces, and he is generally very effective in that role. Interestingly, though, as we record this particular episode, it's straight after the Eagles game, and I don't think he had any centre bounce attendances last night or in that game. So he is a valuable asset that Scott can use when needed to go into the middle and perform a role. But generally speaking, I've got to say this has been an incredibly impressive season thus far from Jake.
It has.
And when he's fit, which he obviously is at the moment, and has his mind in the right place, yeah, he's a very, very good player for us, and we're definitely benefiting from his performances thus far.
Yes.
And it just feels like Jake is very happy in his skin.
Yeah.
He seems to have outside of football, he's adopting a new lifestyle. And I think it's been well documented that Jake is exploring the spiritual side of things, and if that gets him kicking goals, I'm all for it.
You could probably do with a bit of that yourself.
No, I found God, and he said no thanks and kicked me back out. Don't need your type. So, but Jake, all up for me. He's an absolute hot. He's definitely not a not, and I would be giving his season so far a good 7 out of 10 is my view.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, and forgot to discuss this, that if we are going to ask for ratings out of 10, no 7s.
Sure.
7 is a sitting on the fence response.
No, 7 is above average, right?
Right.
If you say 6 is the sort of baseline,
is it?
Every player should be hitting a 6.
Right.
Then Jake is at a 7.
All right.
I think
we're going to get a lot of 7s in this series.
I wouldn't go higher than 7. I mean, if we do, we know his performance will drop away because he'll watch this and go, oh, well, I'm an 8 or a 9. I'm just going to have a couple of weeks off. No, keep the heat on the boy.
Right.
I'm giving him 7. What are you giving him?
6.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
Are you for real?
Well, because I just don't want to copy you and do a 7 as well.
Well, yeah, go up. You can do a 0.5, All right, 6 it is. Oh, God, I hate to see what you're going to give.
No, all right, I'll match it. It was 7. I don't feel an 8 is justified. That's the point.
And I don't either. I think he's borderline 7.5. But again, he's got plenty of time in the season to prove us wrong and perhaps go higher in our ranking. But when you consider the players that will get the 8s and 9s, I'm not sure I could put Jake in the same ballpark as some of those guys. All right. So 7 is a pretty good result, and as we go through this, we shall see whether that's relative to the rest of the team, or we've overvoted or undervoted for him. But so far, I think it's fair to say he's been a great contributor, and I think he'll be a very important player for us. Should we be fortunate enough to make the finals? Yes, it's guys like Jake Stringer who can really turn it on the big stage.
He does, and he definitely has a presence, and we need more of those sort of players.
Yeah.
What's really throwing me off though is your attire. What's with that scarf?
Well, I have a date in a Parisian cafe after this,
you look like you manage a homeless person.
Well, do you know this is actually New Zealand possum?
There's poor
Believe
possums.
it or not. Well,
really?
They just shear them like they do with sheep.
Oh, do they?
There's a little shearing.
You know sure?
What the New
I reckon
Zealand,
a couple of possums went down.
But
and
I tell you what, it's bloody lovely.
Really?
Yeah,
let me have a
that.
feel.
That's the finest of possum fur.
Right.
Possum hair, whatever it is.
Okay. Well, I mean, next time, can you run your wardrobe by me, please?
Sorry about that. Maybe get some heating in this place.
It took me 8 minutes to notice that.
All right.
I forgot to put that.
Let's wrap up.
That's it. That's the end of our
give us your votes.
Hot or Not Jake Stringer episode. So we both came in at 7. Give us your thoughts.
See how you guys go. All right. Thanks, guys. Stay tuned for more Hot or Not.
Back with the next one soon.
See ya.
Bye.